Hello! Today we're going to play a little game. Okay, it's not little, but it's still a game. Lateral thinking puzzles were some of my favorite games when I was a child. Lateral thinking or lateral logic puzzles are actually word puzzles where not all the information is given and you need to find the solution, though it may seem strange at first. That's the best way I can describe it. After a puzzle or two, I think everyone will figure it out a bit. Apparently in 1992, this book, Lateral Thinking Puzzlers by Sloane, popularized the name of lateral thinking puzzles. A man lives on the 10th floor of a building. Every day he takes the elevator to the first floor to go to work or to go shopping. When he returns, he always takes the elevator to the 7th floor, then walks the remaining 3 flights of stairs to his apartment on the 10th floor. Why does he do this? Is there anything that he does between the 7th and 10th floors other than climb stairs? No. If he had someone else with him, would they both get out on the 7th floor and walk up to the 10th stairs? No. If he lived on the 6th floor, would he go up to the 6th floor in the elevator? Yes. If he lived in a different block of apartments in a different country but still on the 10th floor, would he still get out on the 7th floor when going up? Most probably yes. That is usually the face I make. The man is a dwarf. He can reach the buttons on the elevator for the first floor, but he cannot reach the button for the 10th floor. The 7th floor is the highest he can reach. A man in a restaurant complained to the waiter that there was a fly in his cup of coffee. The waiter took the cup away and promised to bring a fresh cup of coffee. He returned a few moments later. The man tasted the coffee and complained that it was his original cup of coffee with the fly removed. He was correct, but how did he know? Was there something about the cup itself that identified it? No. Was the fly still in the cup? No. Could the man have known it was the same cup if he had not tasted it? No. He had sweetened the original cup of coffee with sugar. He therefore knew when he tasted the coffee that it was the same cup. Antony and Cleopatra were lying dead on the floor in an Egyptian villa. Nearby is a broken bowl. There are no marks on their body, and they were not poisoned. Not a person was in the villa when they died. How did they die? This is an odd one. It can prove a little difficult if you have not heard it before, like me. The most fruitful lines of questioning are those that try to establish the exact cause and circumstances of death. To cut a long story short, it can be said that their deaths followed the accidental breaking of the bowl. The bowl had contained water. They died from lack of oxygen. Antony and Cleopatra were goldfish. They died when their bowl was knocked over by a rather clumsy guard dog. What is it that gets wetter as it dries? It is difficult to give any clues on this neat riddle other than to advise you to consider the question actively, not passively. The answer is a towel. A man is lying dead in a field. Next to him is an unopened package. There is no other creature in the field. How did he die? Well, that sucks. Was his death an accident? Yes. Well, that kind of blows my theory out the water right there. Did he die in the field in a spot where he lies? Yes. Was anyone else present in or around the field at the time? No. If he had been able to open the package, would that have saved him? Yes. Did he know he was going to die as he entered the field? Yes. The man had to jump from a plane, but his parachute had failed to open. It was the unopened package by his side. Mr. Jones is reading his daily newspaper. He reads an article with the following headline, "Woman Dies in Holiday Accident." It goes on to say, Mrs. Rigby Brown, while on holiday with her husband in Rome, fell to her death from the balcony of her 7th floor room. Mr. Jones turns to his wife and says, that was not an accident, it was murder. He had never met either of the Rigby Browns, so how could he have known it was murder? Had Mr. Jones met either of the Rigby Browns? The answer is no. Was he right by saying it was murder? Yes. Was Mr. Rigby Brown the murderer? Yes. Had Mr. Jones, in his professional capacity, provided some service to Mr. Rigby Brown? Yes. Did he deduce from this service and the newspaper article that Mrs. Rigby Brown had been murdered? Yes. Mr. Jones was a travel agent. He had recently supplied by post 2 plane tickets for a Mr. Rigby Brown. The 2 tickets were for Rome, but the one for Mr. Rigby Brown had been ordered as a return ticket. Mrs. Rigby Brown's ticket had been one way only. The man in the bar, 3. A man who wanted a drink walked into a bar. Before he could say a word, he was knocked unconscious. Why? No clues on this one. You should be an expert on bars by now. It was an iron bar. If you like scary things, gotcha covered.